notification that we did only rained down the drain. It was something that we did with Public Works.
Sheehan says the city received notification FDOT would paint over the storm drain artwork at Church Street and Summerlin Avenue, Summerlin and Central Boulevard, Marks Avenue and Mills Avenue, as well as Church and Neola Drive.
The problem that I have with this is not only did they do away with all our beautifications and crosswalks that we got their approval for, now they've gone after these storm drains.
Commissioner Sheehan says she's not sure how much further FDOT might go, so she's now concerned that traffic boxes like these might be painted over from the artwork that's displayed to be white instead.
I'm very concerned about it, but I'm telling them right now, if you want the FDOT boxes painted over, fine, but leave our boxes alone. Those are city-owned boxes. Do not vandalize city properties, FDOT, state of Florida.
We've reached out to FDOT, but so far have not heard back.
How do you feel the quality of the paint job is?
It's pretty bad. Like if you look over there, it's just patchy. Like they didn't even finish it.
Tiara McMillan and Ian Blatt were walking in Thornton Park when they noticed the new paint job.
What is your reaction when I tell you that this was painted white by the state overnight and now it's just white and it used to be artwork?
First of all, it's really patchy, but we're artists ourselves, so it's kind of just like you just wasted somebody's time that already painted over it.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Sheehan says the fight isn't over.
Explain what you plan to do next.
Yeah, we're going to paint over them because this is city property. There is no reason FDOT should have vandalized this property that the Thornton Park Main Street paid to have artists beautify.
And again, Sheehan says there will be people out here in the coming days repainting some of these storage drains. So, of course, we will continue to keep you updated on what happens. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Our other top story, we are tracking the tropics tonight, less than 2 weeks from the peak of hurricane season. The Hurricane Center has labeled what I would call a blob off the Africa's coast, Invest 91. A lot of people wondering what this could mean over the next few weeks, and we know a guy. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins me now. So, Jonathan, how are we looking at this thing out there far away?
And here's the deal, and I think a lot of people wondering because there's a lot of crazy stuff on social media
always crazy
out
stuff,
there.
right?
Yeah, it's a weird place these days. And they paint the doom and gloom scenario, so that's the first thing I want to say. Don't pay attention to the single model runs that show those scenarios because they have already changed and they're going to continue to go back and forth and wiggle and wobble all over the place. One of the reasons why, because this is such a slow moving storm. So the steering current that could turn this away or bring it close to land, they're still about 10 to 13 days away from dictating where this goes in the long term. Now, in the short term, here it is right here. That thing, the little bubble just outside of the red, it's likely going to try to develop in here over the weekend. That's going to likely be our next tropical depression. Because it's an invest, again, it's that fancy designation. It means area of investigation. These are brand new, hot off the press, by the way. And you see a clustering here of the modeling because as this stays weak, it's going to ride the low-level wind flow through the Atlantic, and that's going to keep it further west, again, towards the Caribbean. So that looks like the first thing up over the next week to 8 days. We'll talk much more about this and the steering currents in the short term and why you shouldn't pay attention to the craziness on social media coming up at about 10:17, Matt.
All right, always good to know. Jonathan, thank you. New at 10 tonight.
And I've given birth there twice, so I know the hospital. I've been there. It's just like to change that at the end of my pregnancy would be just very uncomfortable for me.
Several expecting moms are stunned by the news that they have to make other plans for their big days, and they have to do it quickly. As we first told you this time last night, UF Health Leesburg Hospital is closing their labor and delivery unit in just 45 days, leaving many in the area to drive nearly an hour to get the care they need. News 6 reporter Jarrell Baker spoke with two local moms who say they feel disappointed and neglected.
I didn't have more than 4 minutes.
Alexis Strong says UF Health Leesburg Hospital saved her life in 2019 when an artery ruptured after giving birth to her daughter.
They didn't have time for an ambulance to take me directly across the street. So I rode in my doctor's car across the street to have an emergency procedure performed to save my life.
The hospital released this notice Wednesday about closing their labor and delivery unit in just 45 days. Strong's due date for her third child is in 55 days.
The closest place to me is 40 minutes away from my house. I could go into labor prematurely. I'd have to drive further. It puts me at risk, my baby at risk.
Her sister-in-law, Michaela Deweech, who's also expecting, says that it'll be up to an hour drive for her in an area where OBGYN care is already a struggle.
I'm due a little bit later than her, but still finding an OBGYN is very difficult. So finding a new one that might be closer to a hospital just seems like an impossible task.
According to a statement to News 6 from hospital staff, with significantly fewer deliveries compared with other regional centers and a community increasingly composed of older adults, maintaining full labor and delivery services is no longer sustainable. The hospital adds there's a growing population of women over 55 who need other things like cardiovascular care, orthopedics, and stroke care instead of a maternity ward. But the mothers believe it's another way to push young families out of the community.
It's kind of like kicking us out. And we've been here before all the retirees made it here.
It doesn't mean that we don't matter and that our care is not just as important.
The hospital says they'll continue to provide emergency OBGYN services. The change will begin October 15th. In Leesburg, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Also new at 10 tonight, Cocoa Beach commissioners have voted unanimously to crack down on e-bikes. Lots of local communities are trying to figure out new rules for this. But in Cocoa Beach, the new rules voted in tonight will add a 15 mile an hour. And if there are people on sidewalk, 15 miles an hour on the sidewalk, and if there are people on it, that drops back to just barely fast enough to safely get by. Wheelies are banned. Anyone breaking the rules could get a ticket. And if it's someone under 18 years old, their parents are going to have to pay up. Those new rules are in effect immediately. Also in Brevard County, DCF has rushed to help protect 6 small children found locked in bedrooms in a filthy house with no food or water. Police in Palm Bay say the only thing their parents gave them was a children's toilet for potty training. Here are the mugshots for those parents, Nathan and Laura Forschik. Your Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero confronted the father as he got a police escort to grab his things after bonding out of jail.
Nathan, would you like to talk about the case?
Can you just give us a little bit, back up just a little bit, please?
So neighbors told James all 6 of the kids have autism. If the mother bonds out too, she and her husband are not allowed to see each other or their kids. The children are all in the care of DCF. Developing tonight at 10, it had been shutting down, but the governor says Alligator Alcatraz remains open for business. That's his reaction to a ruling of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Today, that federal panel voted 2-1 to put a lower judge's order on hold. Last month, she issued an injunction siding with environmentalists and the Miccosukee tribe that the state ignored environmental laws in the rush to build this thing. She ordered Alligator Alcatraz shut down and eventually torn down. But today's ruling allows the facility to operate until there's a final ruling in the court case. We're learning new details about the condition of an FSU football player from Sanford who was shot in the back of the head over the weekend. Ethan Pritchard's loved ones now believe he was the victim of a case of mistaken identity. They've started a GoFundMe page to help his family while he's in the hospital. Your Sanford community correspondent, Catherine Silver, is at Pritchard's alma mater, Seminole High School, where they're planning to honor him tomorrow night.
It'll mean so much to me, my family, the team, the community, everybody.
We're learning a lot about Ethan Pritchard this week, not just the player, but the person. Outstanding character, leadership, and integrity. That's what the athletic director here at Seminole High School had to say about him. And hundreds of people have said something similar or offered support for a speedy recovery on Florida State's social media post.
We're absolutely praying for him every day.
The freshman linebacker has spent the week in the hospital after he was shot at this apartment complex in Havana. Pritchard was driving his aunt home after FSU's big win against Alabama. A GoFundMe page for him and his family says his car was mistaken for someone else's. They've raised over $80,000 in just 24 hours. And it started in his hometown. The head coach here at Seminole High School is the one who created that fundraising page. We're learning there are plans to honor Pritchard at Friday night's game, and there will be a special t-shirt. The proceeds will go directly towards his family. They've asked for prayers and privacy. This weekend shooting was one of 3 in the same area. The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office shared video from a prayer walk.
3 weeks in a row, right here
on this street. Their investigators are working with FDLE to get information and hopefully closure for families, including Pritchard's. Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, if guilty, let's just say this next lady is not your average super speeder. Next at 6, deputies say they clocked a mom doing 103 with a baby on board. And so were 2 other kids. The charges she's facing tonight. Plus, new at 10, everybody say, where you can be among the first to see a month-old baby zebra in person. And this foal could help save a species.
It sounded like a bomb. It hit my trailer. I really need all the help that I can get.
A car slams into that veteran's house. He's all right, but he's facing 20 grand in damage. How fellow veterans are getting results, and you can help. You're watching News 6 at 10. Live on a Thursday night, we're covering Altamont Springs, Audubon Park, and all of Central Florida. Now on News 6, we're learning some new details about a mom accused of speeding at 103 miles per hour with 3 kids in the car, including an 8-month-old.
Put your hands behind your back.
Why, sir?
You're going to jail. Step back here. 7, 12, and 8 months, and the 8-month-old's not even in the car seat at 103. There's absolutely no reason. 103 down Alafaya, peeling out at the light. 8-month-old is in a car seat with no straps.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office releasing this video on social media last night. It shows deputies racing to catch up to a woman on Alafaya Trail last Friday. The posted speed limit there, 45 miles an hour. Investigators say when they arrested Asia Clark Campbell, she told them she was scared other drivers were chasing her. But deputies didn't see any other cars near her, they say. She remains in jail at last report, accused of excessive speeding and child neglect. Well, tonight, a 92-year-old Korean War vet is getting some much-needed help from fellow vets in his community. He lost his home when a driver ran off the road and crashed right into his trailer. News 6's Alex Cook is in Ocklawaha, where a local nonprofit is asking for donations to help.
I'm in Ocklawaha in Marion County, where a 92-year-old Korean War veteran is without a home after a car crashed into his trailer. Now, the nonprofit Villagers for Veterans is doing what they can to raise funds to put a new roof over his head.
Otis Fender was watching TV in his living room when the walls around him shook.
It sounded like a bomb. It hit my trailer.
A car had veered off the dirt road where he lives in rural Marion County.
The driver broke down that little fence. You can see the top of it still on the ground. She came right through here, missed the tree, hit the gate shut, and turned around and hit it right here.
Fender was okay, but his home was condemned.
I really need all the help that I can get. I'm in a position between a rock and a hard place. My home is destroyed, and it takes $20,000 to fix it. I don't have it.
What Fender does have is membership to a brotherhood he joined in 1954 when he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force and earned the title of veteran.
Veterans help veterans. And so whenever there is a veteran that's in need, the other veterans, and no matter what branch or no matter how long they serve, they rally, they come together, and they do whatever they can to make it right.
Villagers for Veterans, a nonprofit based in the Villages, is raising money for a new trailer.
We have a fund, Korean War Veteran Fund, and that's for Otis. So any money that you donate will go strictly to getting him back into his home.
In the meantime, the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association is helping move his belongings into storage.
Veterans help each other out, right?
They do. They help each other out. They're like your own brother. Sometimes your brother won't help you as much as a veteran.
In Ocklawaha, Alex Cook, News 6.
Those are your real brothers for sure. Well, on the other side of the I-4 corridor, a military dad makes a surprise appearance, or three.
What's up, buddy? I'm home.
After 18 months away on deployment, Naval Captain Edwin Smith surprised his kids at school in Hillsborough County. He stopped by to see his third grader at his K-8 school before driving a few miles to the high school for his 3 daughters. In the social media post, the school district said simply, "Welcome home, and thank you for your service." New at 10 tonight. Big debut for a little guy in Brevard County. How adorable is that little thing right there? Bolt, the baby zebra, joined the herd's train yard habitat today, but the 1-month-old is still sticking closely to his mom, Iggy. Bolt spent about the first month of his life behind the scenes. The little foal is an endangered zebra there. Grevy's zebra, part of a team effort by zoos around the world to breed the beast so the species can survive. You can see him and mom primarily in the zoo's Cape to Cairo express train. About 40 miles north of Brevard Zoo, SpaceX is planning to mark a milestone mission in the next few hours. Falcon 9's payload is no surprise, more Starlink internet satellites. If they stick the landing at sea, it will be the 500th landing of a Falcon 9 first stage. Pretty unbelievable. Liftoff currently set 7:29 tomorrow morning at Kennedy Space Center's Pad 39A. The window runs through 6:30. We're going to bring it to you live here on News 6, 7, 9:30 areas when the window runs. The latest forecast calls for a 70% chance of go. All right, let's get you over to our weather department. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas taking a look at a nice clear radar tonight.
Yeah, for the most part, the one thing that could be an issue, and it's a slight chance, is a 70% go. These guys right here, these downpours that are going to continue to stream in off of the Atlantic. A lot of these are fizzling out as expected. You can track these downpours that are trying to come on shore by downloading the free News 6 weather app. No lightning with these. If there was, you'd get an alert on your phone that there was lightning within 10 miles of you. There's also a few itty-bitty downpours, again, right off the Space Coast. So going to be watching that, but otherwise things are pretty good. Again, we can't have those downpours close by. Here's a live look in Daytona Beach. Live look tonight with temperatures back to around 80 degrees. Few passing clouds out there. Again, we just saw those downpours off the Volusia coast. Most of those are going to fizzle out as they come in. The breeze right now out of the east-northeast at about 10 miles an hour. Looking at tomorrow, I think a lot of us are going to be dry again today. I think rain is going to be hard to come by over the next couple of days. Rain chances at 20% through the morning, and this is mainly, again, along the coast for those stray downpours that I just showed you. A few of those are going to try to stream in. They are quick hitting. They are few and far between. Shouldn't be that big of a headache for you on your morning commute if you're along the coast. We'll increase rain chances only to 30% by the early to middle part of your afternoon. Pinpointing that for you right there. And there are those little guys, again, watching that around lunchtime, 6, 7 o'clock. That would not be the best thing if we had that there, but the longer window should allow for some positive weather there. 11 o'clock in the morning, still the same kind of deal. And then you see what happens. Most everything blows back to the Gulf Coast quickly and leaves a lot of Central Florida alone if you are planning to start the weekend again early. I think that flare-up likely happens a little bit closer toward Lake Okeechobee. Now here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow that gets temperatures back to the lower 90s. Again, rain chances on the lower side, not completely zero, but certainly I think a lot of us are staying on the drier side as most of the action focusing closer to this boundary you see here through South Florida. I think the heaviest rain falls, no doubt, around Lake Okeechobee and points south over the next couple of days. On to the tropics. Okay, find where our tropical wave is. There's a bunch of thunderstorm development out there. It is right here, that guy right on the edge of the orange. So again, it's doing some fighting tonight if it wants to try to stay alive for the next couple of days. Again, it's trying to become a depression. All that orange is the drier air out ahead of it. So it has to fight through that, and it has to break free from some of the other adverse conditions out there. I want to show you something and why it's important to not latch on to these single model runs. So earlier today, doom and gloom scenario came out with a hurricane in South Florida. That was this morning. Here's the latest run. It's way out here now, way far away from Florida. So again, until this thing gets a center and until we get a little bit closer, don't pay attention to those single model runs, ensembles. If you know what I'm talking about, if you're a weather nerd, that's what you want to look at this stage in the game. 40% shot for development for thunderstorms over the weekend, 40% chance on Monday as well.
A years-long battle over house colors in Palm Coast is officially over. I'm Molly Reed. Coming up, we're going to show you what's going to happen to the homeowners now who have made bold choices. Many Palm Coast homeowners like this one were told by city code enforcement to paint their houses again, saying that this color did not meet the city's standards. They fought for years to keep their bold choices, and as of this week, they finally know they can keep their houses as is.
We had about 10 houses in Palm Coast that currently had a code case open because they had a non-permitted color. So those cases will be closed.
Many homeowners have already repainted their houses after getting a code enforcement ticket, but kept the fight going. Many fought back, saying the colors ruined property values and the city's ordinance only allowed earth tones or light pastels within certain shades based on how much the color reflected light.
Officially, City Council set some policy decisions this week to go ahead and eliminate the LVR, the light reflective value, on these house colors. And basically, you can paint your house any color you want besides the 4 restricted colors.
Now, the color and depth of the color of a house no longer matters as long as it isn't one of the 4 banned colors: magenta, purple, fuchsia, and orange.
It's just a calming color for me. It's my favorite color, and I think it looks nice and respectful.
Mindy Melendez, whose house stands in a bold blue, felt like the city was running like an HOA. We spoke to her back in January when the clock started ticking to repaint according to the city's code enforcement. She was one of the residents who pushed the city to revise this ordinance.
We've evolved with time. Palm Coast has an influx of people from all different walks of life. So you can't say that everybody likes beige or everybody likes gray. We all have different tastes.
I'm your Flagler County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus. It's free to download to your smart TV or your streaming device. Maybe that's how you're watching this. Have yourself a great night.